All right, we are live. We are live. Come here, dog. Chili is concerned about the state of the dishwasher at the moment. She's got her little jumper on though. We put this jumper on because it's cold, and she can't. I can't get it off. Chili, do you want to take off your jumper? Do you want to take off your jumper? Okay. Okay, we'll leave that on for the rest of time. Come on, BZ, over here. Good girl. Be good. There's a little ad for that thing there. Yep. Welcome to the Arcanery. Oh, do I have a thing? Yo, what's up? Bad Circle. David Della Sus. How are we? How are we? There's been a lot of off-stream mahi being done, and I thought we should at least do a catch-up on it because things are progressing. Things are progressing nicely. I feel a bit bad because this is the kind of thing that I feel like people might like to see, but then when I'm doing it, I'm a little bit like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm learning it as I go, and it's kind of, yeah. You have like most of the time it doesn't work, and then it suddenly works, and you're like, yes. Really digging this editor, by the way. I've now try. What's up, the computer whiz? Glad to hear that. The new paradigm is the try editor setup. So this so the project is a Visual Studio project. Under the hood, it is it's building with MS Build and running through here. 10x is the editor, which is like synced. So if you drop a breakpoint or something and you go back to what file am I in? Why do you always want to be down here? Be up here. Be with the people. If we go here, there should be a. Where did I put that breakpoint? Maybe there isn't. 235. Perfectly synced. Maybe we'll do a build and see. Huh. Well, it usually is synced. And then, so I edit in here, and then build and run through the debugger. But there's one final piece of the puzzle. Visual Studio Code, which has been kind of outcast a little bit since 10x, is just the GLSL editor, because it has a plugin that will show me errors if you write something like return null or something. I don't know. You write something dumb, it'll tell you, which is kind of handy for GLSL because it's hard to debug. So this is like the shader editor, the CPU editor, the GPU editor, the CPU editor, and then the actual thing that's doing all the work under the hood. The debugger. Yeah, so what have we been doing? Well, I'll play it and see where it's at. Chili, I know. Oh, yes. Hopefully this is all good. I keep tweaking my streaming settings, so hopefully we're getting good stream. We're getting good stream vibes. What's my method of learning? Well, I'll tell you a little secret. That is technically the only thing that that's my main skill, I think. I'm not particularly good at any one thing, but learning things quickly is the skill that is the most. I mean, you can transfer that to anything. If you can pick up things as quickly as possible, then that's the biggest hurdle. So, how though? basically, I should put some music on because this is hard. Now I'm trying to explain how to learn. How to learn, I guess, like, I try to think about things in the terms of everything. A lot of things are related. Concepts are related. Like 3D, like Blender is related to Unity, is related to visual effects. All these things have common things, you know, like coordinates and vectors and colors and lights and shadows and all these things. And so at some point I theorized that everything has like a base layer, and if you can get to that base layer as quickly as possible and get the like core concept of whatever the thing is that you're trying to do, and you say, oh, that's kind of like this other thing, and so you build up a little library of understanding around a level of like a base layer, and that base layer can help you with learning lots of other things. And try to get to those, like, what is the core of this thing? What are the basics of whatever this concept is? And just try to remember them. All the details and all the complex stuff, it's not worth storing in your head. We're just doing a quick return because I was super pumped about this work on shadows and stuff. Now we've got like these better, they do glitch when you move the thing, but better lighting controls, better sun placement controls. Whoop. And aside from the actual core, and I don't actually have a button for shadow mapping, but I can see the render passes. So I can see this is like raw screen space ambient occlusion. You can see it's real dotty because it's very low sample, because I'm trying to like get away with minimalness. And then the blurred, then you blur the SSAO, which gives it this nice sort of soft look. All this stuff is, SSAO is currently the most expensive thing out of anything by far. I can show you the shadow map, but it will break because I've got some bad thing going on. What does depth only do? G position. Oh yeah, this is where once I start doing this depth only button, I break things. So I did a poor if else statement somewhere. The G position, the G normal. Okay, yeah. So these are what's kind of necessary for AO, which is a crazy concept in itself. Like, the other thing is, like, with things like ambient occlusion, like, now I kind of get what's going on. Doesn't mean I need to, like, memorize the implementation necessarily. You know, like the actual shader is kind of hectic, and it's basically, where's SSAO? I've got two implementations. This one's pretty much just pulled straight from learnopengl.com. Not exactly, I had to tweak it a little bit. And then there's another one that I sort of made with the help of Copilot, which is more, you know, Copilot stuff's usually more complicated because it goes off on these crazy tangents. But the tricky bit is not the shader, I think. I think the tricky bit is getting the pipeline and concepts together of what you need and why you need it. Like, these screen space normals, why do you need them? And then how does this convert to this, you know? And the pipeline through the CPU side. Yeah, sorry, I was just rambling on. But I mean, as far as SSAO goes, what it's doing is you're getting this, like, which way something is facing in like screen space, I'm pretty sure. Like, see, the color changes based on which way it's facing, because this is a screen space effect. We're recording the depth. I should really talk through this because there's a whole bunch of layers. There's a whole bunch of layers to this madness. On notes. In fact, it may be better to use this one for notes. Notes.txt. Okay. I wrote this whole madness here. Don't worry about this first look Steam page stuff. That's TBC. But this is kind of like the render passes and what they need, what needs to happen. Well, it becomes like you can do anything here. It's quite crazy. But so there's the pass. The frame buffer object is like the buffer that stores the output of that pass, and then I've got a little thing here to remember what the depth is and what the color is at this stage. Sorry if this stuff all sounds pretty crazy. But we start with a depth pass, so we send all objects that are not transparent, non-transparent, and no grass. I'm going through the wall here. So this first depth pass. So I feel like we're getting right into it. Render passes. We've got to do this stuff in stages. So the depth pass records the depth of all the opaque items, or the items you want to record depth. And it's a very simple shader. It is depth pre-pass vertex shader. All it does is take in this case, the instance model matrix, and it does the multiplication and figures out where this thing is. And then in depth fragment shader, I do have a thing to cut out like alpha tested things, so not things that don't blend, but they have like cutouts in their albedo. I don't know if that's necessarily doing anything. It might be doing something for trees. Notes. So yeah, we record the depth. Basically, we record the depth in one pass of everything. And this is like a common thing that games do, apparently. In fact, games often do this depth pass in reverse Z. So it goes from like 0 to 1, but they do it in 1 to 0 because like big games that have things far in the distance, as you go further from the camera, you have less precision where what is in front of what. And you remember old Skyrim, and you used to look up at the mountains and all the mountains would be fighting with each other because they don't know who's in front. So the modern thing to do, I think, is to invert this depth pass. But Daisy Trains is pretty simple, and also I don't know quite. I might do that, but I haven't figured out how that works. Anyway, you record the depth, and then you render to the same buffer, but to a color thing, the normals, which is this. In fact, I do 2 of these because there's 2 ways of doing screen space ambient occlusion to get the position. These ones, they don't write to the depth, they write to separate color textures. So this is kind of like deferred rendering in a way, but we're not really doing deferred rendering. And then we do, from the SSAO, for that pass, we take in these ones, and using either the normals in the position or the normals in the depth, we calculate the SSAO for each pixel. And this goes through, and there's also this little noise texture that we... that was the dog. A little noise texture that is like 4x4 noise, and it just randomizes the samples a little bit. That goes through however many times and does this little... It looks around itself in a hemisphere. Oh, hang on a second. Come on, buddy, none of that. You won't be playing that game. You got your feet. Bloody blah. Anyway, so yeah, there's this. Most of the stuff you can learn on. We can try and learn because it's kind of hectic. Advanced Lighting SSAO. So this is the article on Learn OpenGL. Where did it go? Yeah, so there's this whole thing about hemispheres and normals. We look around. So we get the G buffer here and the normal buffer, and then we calculate this, and then we blur it. And they have code examples which are really handy. Anyway, That's kind of SSAO. Yeah, it goes through the SSAO, and then that one gets blurred. So each of these are separate frame buffers. And then we copy the depth, because we've already recorded the depth of everything. We copy it. This blit is like a copy depth to the lighting one. And now we don't have to redo depth, which is really big. And we're also sending the depth to SSAO. Does this one use depth? Depth texture. Oh yeah, that's right. It's got either position or depth based on the implementation. Then we've got to combine the SSAO with the lighting. And then we blit the depth to the bypass. Then we have to draw the grass completely separately and then do some post-processing. Anyway, clear as mud. This Learn OpenGL one, yeah, this is probably not the most recent, but it still works. And there are like, at the bottom they link papers and stuff. Even these are probably quite old, 2013, yeah, they're very old. So there's probably there's modern ways. In fact, like this SSAO is costing put it in perspective. If I rendered the scene this is rendering at 4K, and it's got 50,000 grass instances, and it's taking like 2 milliseconds to run the it's taking 2.8 milliseconds to draw. If I turn off the grass, it takes 1. So the grass does take some time because there's a lot of it. But then if you add the SSAO, now it's taking over 5. So the SSAO is taking 1.5 milliseconds, which is pretty huge in terms of cost. And I'm sure there's faster ways of doing it. It's really cool, the shadows. There's definitely lots of tweaking involved. You'll see at certain... Oh, that looks quite nice. I don't know if you can see it on stream, but it's a little blocky. And this is and also how far offset the shadows are and stuff. You can see I can start to clip those shadows with this orthographic perspective. Yeah, so I mean, talking a little bit about the shadows, you can see here that they stand off a little bit, and this is based on this bias. I can click this bias down to 0. But it might start putting other artifacts in other places. It actually looks kind of okay. There are some weird geometry things going on with these bridges where they have gaps for some reason. Yeah, it must have been a modeling issue. If we start getting really long shadows, you can see there's a little, I don't know if you can see there's a little shadow weirdness going on over here. But basically, I can show you what the shadow's doing. It will break the thing because there's a bug here, but if I go to the shadow map, so this is the point of view of the light. So you do one pass again where you render everything that you want to cast shadows, and in this case it's the terrain and the rail. You probably remove these rail items. They probably don't really need to cast shadows. In fact, can I put a train down somewhere? We can see the little train going. Oh yeah, you can see the little train going. So what this shadow map is doing is it's just recording the depth from the point of view of the light. And because it's a directional light, it's orthographic, meaning it's carries on in the same distance every time. So again, this is me changing the elevation of the sunlight. If you go at 90, it gets weird. That's like looking from below and then turning around. And so it records this depth, and then when you render the fragment of, say, the block or whatever thing, you transform this into the space, like you transform from the view of the light to the world point of the pixel and ask, am I behind this? If so, I'm in shadow, basically. I think if I go, oh, yo, whoa, look at that. There's some bugs. Let's reload that. But there are other challenges with these shadows, because yeah, you can see here there's these gaps, so we have to adjust the shadow bias. But there's also another issue. If I load up like this world, here you can see with the bias, I don't know if you can see it, you probably can't. There's lots of shadow acne going on with the bias being too low as 0. So we put that up a bit. Oh, the trees are broken as well. Don't worry about the trees. But I don't know if I can get it to... I think there's a bit of world, this demo world. Shows some interesting stuff sometimes. So there are all these things, I'll bring them in here. It's a little small, I know, but when you first make the shadow map, it's kind of just pointing where you tell it to point. And in the case of this, it was just pointing at the center of the world, which is okay, but it needs to, first of all, it needs to move with the camera. So it needs to point at the camera target and kind of be offset so that it's always covering where we're looking. But then it's also it's also rendering to this orthographic projection that kind of, as we go in, see the shadows sharpen up, because we only really need to render to this screen size or this world size. But as we go back, that needs to expand and expand and expand, and you lose resolution, but it doesn't matter because you're further away. And there's also this near and far clipping. So if I bring this down, you'll start to see the shadows just totally clip out, because the shadow has this it's only going from some beginning point to some end point. You can clip it the other way, can you? No. Oh, it's the max near clip. But yeah, all these things tweak, and then they have to kind of be, you can see there I messed up some of the values. Then I'm having to kind of lerp them based on the distance of the zoom. So yeah, I'm not doing a great job of explaining it, but so yeah, it just doesn't work for all situations. And even this bias needs to kind of change. The trees are like glitching out because there's something wrong in the tree shader. Yeah. Yep. What else is there? Whether the SSAO makes kind of a big difference. You can also change the amount it blurs, or whether or not it blurs. But yeah. But I guess the big thing was dealing with this concept of render passes and then implementing them in a way that, like, it gets real confusing real quick, because you kind of got to keep track of like what shader needs what and what render pass needs what. So there's these. This here is the quote. This is the render passes. Render depth. So this is this is where we bind the frame buffer and we tell it not to write to the color at all. We set the depth stuff, and then we draw, and I have all these flags to say, like, if it's grass, just don't draw it, or if it's transparent, don't draw it. And then there is this albedo map check thing for depth, which is kind of necessary for trees. Trees/alpha test. Then we do the same instance draw. Each object now kind of gets buffered only when it needs to be buffered once. So yeah, that's like the uploading of the mesh, the instance data to OpenGL. Like I mean to the GPU. You kind of do it at the beginning right there, and then we don't do it again. And then we do the normal pass, which is kind of the same. We need all the objects again. And then the SSAO pass is more of like from frame buffer to frame buffer using a quad, where we bind the... I mean, this is the thing, like, someone wrote a comment on the video, how do you get OpenGL working? It's so confusing. I'm like, yeah, it is confusing. It's just nothing but confusing. And I think that just goes for graphics in general. It's just weird, confusing stuff that's hard to like get your head around. No worries. Yeah, so I'm just rambling on about stuff. Yeah, so was there anything I actually was thinking about doing? Or just basking in the glory of the shadow maps? Oh yeah, I greatly improved the, these slopes are a bit broken, but the placing of trains on tracks is a whole thing now. Pop that over here. So before it just used to grab the nearest node. But now there's this thing where it like creates a path. It looks down the rail behind the train and creates a path of links, and sort of then interpolates the train across the rail. And also it's now directional, so whichever way you're moving the mouse, it'll kind of figure out, oh, you're going that way, so look for a connection that way, you know? I don't know if you can see, I should probably change the UI size, but so you can kind of intuitively-ish be like, oh, I want to go that way, I want to go that way. Boop. There's lots of weird debuggy stuff going on. And then for like bridges, I think actually I'll turn on, I had a thing, trains.cpp. It's funny, the placing of the trains, place train on rail goes all the way to here. It's like a huge part of the train logic now. If draw debug shapes, where's this? True. So there's all these little tricks to get, because there's no like concept of necessarily like collision meshes or anything, but there are these bounding boxes, so each model, when it gets loaded, figures out just the default bounding box from its minimum to its maximum point. So for the bridges, I'm testing, like, is the mouse on the top face of the bridge? It does have this little jitter because like there's a small offset. So it looks for the bridges, And you can see them by these pink boxes, kind of. I don't know if you can see them. Oh yeah, and it shows the arrows pointing of which way the connections are that it's getting. And they're kind of cool. They just like, they automatically draw shadows and stuff, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so we look at these pink boxes first for bridges. And then for slopes, we first of all look for the pink box, the yellow box. And then we do an actual mesh test on this because they're so weird. But you see it creates this kind of as we move up and down the rail pieces. Boop. So it's not totally bulletproof, but it is much improved, and it's on the right track. Oh yeah, another thing we have is first person mode. Let's go. A giant grass. If you put another train down, you can see just how gigantic the grass is. Oh, and the shadows will totally break in this mode as well. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, sorry, it's a little fast. Don't know why I'm rushing through this stuff so much. I don't know how much of a gameplay addition this will be, but it might be fun once you start getting your levels all built. I don't know where that other train went. When you go from one to the other, it breaks the game also. Oh, yep. But it's definitely feeling a lot better. Like, and it's like you're saying, it starts suddenly looking like a game. The train's casting their little shadows. Looks very cartoony at that level. Oh yeah, we can see I've broken the shadows somewhat. I wonder how this is coming across on stream. Yeah. I needed a button to turn off the... I can turn off the SSAO, and you can get away with that. But I just, especially like in between the cargo containers, it looks really good. Kind of grounds each object a bit. But the shadows are not, I think the shadows are not super expensive, for the things you're doing. Let's have a look at this one. Verticality. Yeah, this one is cool because it kind of makes these... If you put a bunch of blocks down here, you get these cool shadows. Yeah, everything feels... Oh yeah, I broke it a little bit. Oh no, turn off those. Oh, whatever. Yeah. What happens when I do this? So it shows... I was getting something weird here where... Is this relying on me hitting a cell to then... I guess it is. This has got a if cell check. Interesting. Oh yeah, also there's a little bit, it doesn't really show, but I can adjust it with this. There's a bit of fog. It doesn't actually currently affect the grass shader. Oh, and I broke the ocean also. Yeah, you gotta break a few things to make a few things. If we go from the point of view of the thing, the fog, there are like 3 types of fog. There's like a basic in and out fog, and then there's like exponential fog, and this is like the exponential fog. You can change the density here, which is kind of cool. When there was an ocean, you could kind of see out into the ocean and it would blend into the sky. It looked kind of cool. But yeah, now this needs like a different processing of the shadows for this point of view, and whether or not that's like, oh yeah, this is exponential height fog. I mean, not exponential height fog, just exponential fog. There's something we could do actually that would be relatively quick, is who calculates the fog? I think it's in the PBR shader, fragment shader. We've got this calc fog factor. So in the grass, we could add that. Float calc. I'm going to actually change that factor. And this takes in what? A depth, just a distance. Float distance. This is the thing that sucks though. Say you want to add something to another shader. Now you need to remember that you got to get all the uniforms. You got to get all these fog uniforms. Bzz. And you go put them in here, but then you also have to we also need to do the multiply the end result with fog. This is just this chaotic shader. If fog enabled, we need that. And we need to kind of say, if fog enabled float distance equals U camera position. Do we have this? Why wouldn't we have the camera position? Because the grass doesn't have a full, you know, it doesn't have a full shade. It's just basically takes in the light and colors the grass, not based on normals or anything. Fog distance, fog factor, calc fog factor, and then we mix with the grass color. The U fog color, this is, yeah, I guess we can just say Vic3 final color equals the grass, and then we call this final color, and then we need to make sure these are Vic4s. Well, let's just make this final color anyway. So what are we doing in the PBR shader with the fog? We final color equals over here, fog enable final color equals mix, the fog color, the linear color, and the fog factor. Final color equals mix, the U fog color. We do have U fog color. Grass color, we'll call this final color. And we don't have final color.a. This is just gonna be lighting.a. Well, it doesn't actually matter because there is never alpha, because we discard the alpha before we get to it. We need a tower of cargoes as high as the rails. Oh, I wonder how easy it'd be to just make the cargo be super high. I think you just change the diffs and it might just go super high. Now we also need to This is the fun with this type of thing is we need to now also... I devised this scheme, and I don't know if it's a good idea, but so in shaders, each shader has a function called a shader update function, which is just a function pointer. When you load a shader, you tell it, here are all these functions, update PBR shader. So it'll run the shader for it'll run this update for every shader. And this is where I'm like, oh, well, each shader is going to need all this stuff done. And then game shaders can have their own implementation for like the grass and stuff. But you still have to jump around a lot and remember where things are and be like, where's shaders? Let me just put that over here. So we are doing these fog parameters. We'll just copy the fog parameters. And this is the ocean shader. We don't want that. We want it on the grass shader. And switch all these things. This is where I'm like, is it better to like unify each component? Like if it has fog, should we register all like fog using shaders and then update all of them in the fog update? Which ones use the sun? Which ones are shadow casting? Which ones contribute to this and that? I don't know. I think this is all in the environment. We'll see if this works. Fog. Where are you? Fog environment. Get fog with the depth pass. Oh, no fog happening with the gracias. What did I miss? Fog color, fog density, fog enabled equals fog enabled. Are we outputting the right one? If you fog enabled, this is the grass shader, then do the thing. Oh, we're not sending the camera position. That's important. This camera position is important. In fact, we'll put that under the thing. Unfortunately, we don't have the camera, so we're going to go get it in this horrible hack called main camera. Because the camera is property of the game. So the genie doesn't know about the main camera. And rather than having to pass the camera around everywhere, I've just got this pointer to the main camera. I'm like, there's one camera. We'll do these little hacks until we get better. The fog. How does the fog work? Fog, environment, fog type. Oh yeah, everything's got fog. Oh, but the AO goes over the fog. Hey, interesting. Does that mean you need to calculate the fog on the AO pass as well? Turn off AO. So that's exponential fog, and then this is like fog you can dial in yourself, so you can sort of say where the beginning and end is. And imagine something more like this. Maybe subtly as you get really high. Whoa, that's a little... Again, you might want to set these based on the camera zoom or something. Might be very subtle. Might not be in there at all. The way the fog works is... Yeah, it takes in the distance. It's pretty simple. This is the whole fog. Each of these is a different fog type. Fog factor equals u fog end minus distance. So you get the distance to the camera, the beginning and end point, and then you return a value. These exponential ones, the power of the fog density times the distance something. Yeah, exponential squared. See, they're not, the fog isn't that big a deal. How do we get the distance? Fog distance is the length between the camera and the frag position. Yeah, I guess it has to kind of be camera based. The reason everything's sort of light blue is because I was trying to blend the sky into the thing. Oh yeah, we could also maybe try and fix these trees, because these trees, they're exhibiting an issue where you can see sort of even the little blossom particles have non-alpha cutout shadows, which is kind of cool. Get in the camera height a little bit. You can see this crazy glitching going on with the tree, and because there's like a depth pre-pass, all the depth testing now has to be like, this pixel has to be exact. So if there's any kind of difference in calculation of the depth in the shader, then they're gonna not completely line up. I do get confused because I did fix this. I thought this works on the grass. Which is using the same, oh yeah, that's right. This is this GL position line, but it needs to be different if it's grass or if it's a tree, which they share this vertex shader. PBR.vertex shader. This is this one. Projection times view times model matrix. This has to be like that. But I think if we do this on foliage, maybe it won't matter now. Is that not the same? GL position, this is PBR. Position, U projection, U view, model matrix. Okay, so if I would just drop that one in and give that a whirl. Will the trees be good but the grass be broken? Oh no, that's good. Oh yeah, our trees are back. Just like that. Whoa, what's that about? Is that a shadows? Looks like they're casting shadows as well. Oh, something's going on. I think it's not, yeah, you can see these on the, if I turn off the grass, it's just grabbing the whole, well, the AO is really working, eh? On those tree buddies. SSAO. Oh, there it goes. The little things flipping about. Wow. Very cool, man. We'll put the blurred SSAO on and look at that. I wonder what the quality of this in the stream is. Medium to low. So I think the lighting and then the combined. Oh! So I think they're causing a lot of crazy shadows. If we turn this elevation, oh look. Oh yeah, something's weird. Something definitely is weird. These chaps are something weird. You can see they're not lined up with the lighting. They're not lined up with the shadow. We move this around. So they're not sampling the shadows correctly. It is fun to make them though. Look at the shadow map, and this looks kind of good. Oh yeah, you can see them. They're very flat boys. Oh yeah, this is important stuff. So that kind of shows, like, if we can't go back because of the bug in the code, but this kind of shows where the shadow is calculating from and to, and how it moves with the camera. It's all like weirdly inverted. Okay, so to debug this mess, frag position, light space. So the tree uses this foliage shader, and then it uses the PBR vertex shader, fragment shader. So the way it calculates the shadows should be the same, unless, you know what it'll be? My bet is we're not sending the tree the shadow map. It's using some other texture. I reckon that's what it'll be. Graphics. So there's this hideous function that is like a init render batch, and it does all these checks for the different types of shaders. This needs to be like put into categories or something. Yes, because down here on the PBR shader, we do this thing called bind the shadow map, which is an important step. Oh no, we do bind the shadow map. But maybe I'll make it 4 just so that it's the same. Dang it. Oh no, this is the grass. This is the grass. This is the grass. Just relax. We need map 5 to be the shadow map. This is the tree shader. Let's see if that worked. Yeah, unfortunately graphics is just like so unintuitive and hard to debug and difficult. You just kind of got to train yourself to think about it in the way that like it wants to be thought about. That's kind of cool. We've got tree shadows. Oh yo, long tree shadows. We're getting a little bit of weird shadow acne here because of the something, because of these long ass shadows. In fact, is it just because these are like super thin objects? If I set this to like 1, does it get any better? Not really. Pretty cool, man. Let me just put one tree there. I mean, for the purposes of this game, that probably looks fine. The blobby shadows. Oh yeah, I'm also getting... What is that? What is that? What are these blue things popping through, sir? Camera height. Take me down. Why are we getting these little errors? What is this? Is this just bad geometry? Why have I got these shadow thingamabobs? Oh yeah, if we keep increasing... Oh yeah, that looks better. Oh yeah, kinda, I can still see... You might be able not be able to see it on thing. Is there a Steam page we can wishlist the game? I haven't found a link. Yo, Lace. Dude, I did this whole stream for you, and now we're gonna have to do it all again. Oh, this is actually costing costing now. Turn off the SSAO. Actually, the trees look better without the SSAO, don't they? There is no... It costs nothing to have infinite trees. Dang you, SSAO. Yeah, how do we make it not be on the trees? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Cool, yeah. I went through it and I was just spiraling on about shadows and stuff. It was, I don't know how illuminating it is. Oh yeah, you can see down there the little... in order to get actual cutout shadows though, how do I... In order to not have the SSAO on the trees, maybe they just need to be excluded from this G buffer pass. I think that's actually kind of okay to do. Here is the SSAO pass, but before that we have the render normal pass. So we could do a dirty check, like if object.name model parent model, what is it? If object.shader equals genie renderer.grass shaders. Do I not store them anywhere? I can say I have got this other dirty method called shaders get by name tree, and that'll return a pointer. If it is that, then continue. Don't process the tree shader in the normal pass. Will this change things? Yeah, leaves. The leaves have like baked. They've already. What would be cool is if, because I used ambient occlusion in the texture making process of the tree to give them pink ambient occlusion, because they kind of reflect light and they're see-through and whatnot. Oh, that looks like they're still being calculated, doesn't it? G-normal. Well, it gets this kind of just like blankness. Oh no, they're still getting it, which is interesting because I'm not really providing a normal. G position. Oh yeah, well, they're not getting rendered to the... Interesting that they still work. Why do they work? I don't think they work so well. Ding, 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 ding. I guess we could also not render... Well... Did this ever go off? Yeah, of course, because we didn't see it in the renderer. The depth pre-pass. We do want the tree. Interesting that the SSAO is still... Oh yeah, it's a bit of a fancy day today. Thought it'd be fancy. And this SSAO madness. Oh, we're using the depth space one. What happens if we use the other one? Oh yeah, that doesn't do it now. Oh, that's kind of clean. Well, yeah, that's kind of clean. Blur. Okay. That looks nice. So they're fully integrated with shadows. So the next thing, which probably doesn't need to happen, but it might be interesting just for the sake of doing it. Well, something's gone weird though. Is this the shadow maps? Oh, this is the different shadow, the different AO implementation. I think it's just worse. The one from Learn OpenGL. Just a little bit yucky. Yeah, so the depth shade, the shadow map vertex shadow, all it does is this, but we could get it to also test for alpha by doing, it's pretty much the same as the depth prepass. So we would need the vec2 text coord, uniform sampler 2D albedo, depth only unless vec4 albedo. This is just exactly the same. So what this does is it just tests the alpha channel of the albedo map. And if it's less than basically 1, then we just discard the fragment. And I think that also works for the depth. It discards the information there. But we will need to pass the shadow map. We'll need to get this text coordinate. This is kind of cool, like this one setup that was for all the instances and all their data and stuff is the same across every shader. So you can always know that when we add the mesh, it's going to have all this information in it that we can grab if we need. So we need out vec2 text coord, and we just need to say that text coord, this is like a pass through a text coord. And then we need to also do that in the shadow pass. This caution, we do not have support for alpha testing. But if I uncomment this, maybe we now do. Oh, maybe we have errors. Shader mat equals object mat. This should be mat dot shader is not a member of material. You sure about that? Interesting. Oh, it's object shader, not mat shader. Okay. Okay. Oh, and there they are. I mean, why wouldn't ya? I wonder what the difference. I need a button to turn off shadow maps, but why wouldn't ya? It's funny, once you put the grass in, then you just can't see it at all. But maybe if you had like a tree that was by a station, you still kind of can't see it, can you? I mean, there, you might look at that and get some value from that and be like, wow. The other chair, why do I use a small chair? Yeah, well, this that one I bought. That one is the whoops. Oh no, I'm pushing buttons. What is my button? Control Shift F1, F2. No, I forgot my buttons. So that chair I bought because yeah, it's yeah, that's the dog's chair. I was like, yeah, it's got everything. It's a nice chair. It's got like these things move and sorry, Beansy. Sorry, Beansy. And but then I found this chair in an alleyway, and it's a Herman Miller. It's like a $1,800 chair that I could never afford. So I just, it's actually a bit better for the back, I think. A bit more support. There we are. Oh yeah, if we have these nice long shadows, we can see the train casting shadows somewhat on the slowly. Why am I oh, wrong button. Long ass shadows. Boy. Is the train gonna cast a castle? Oh, did I just make these guys crash? I certainly did. Turn off the grass. Yeah, I mean, these shadows, I don't know if you can see it, they're really blocky. As we get closer, they should get better. Oh, and you can look, even the pedals! I mean, you could use Unreal Engine. Oh, what's causing that issue? What is causing this shadow acne across the whole plane? It's not that. 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 It must be the shadow bias. Is it? Is it just my bad code? But, you know, we just hide that with grass and everyone's happy. Oh yeah, you can see it as well on this. You know what? I don't care. These are little fine-tuning things. There's so much fine-tuning. Genie Engine is the new engine made with Genie Engine. Oh yeah, we're getting some weirdness. There's definitely some weirdness, but you know, I don't know. Rendering is a thing that is like, even with the highest tech stuff, even Unreal Engine. You look at Unreal Engine stuff and there's always some weird glitchy stuff going on. Something's flickering and something's moving. This is a, what do you call an imperfect process. There's no way to get it perfect. But you know, what is cool, to me anyway, is that going through all these steps for daisy trains, to me makes makes it look the way it needs to look. Like, it doesn't need to be like good for first person or good for all it's just dialing in this one look for this one game, you know. And cherry trees, obviously, and millions of cherry trees on hills. Cherry tree, cast me your shadow onto that hill over there. Something's wobbling and warbling. I don't know if it's the shadow swimming. It's called like shadow swimming, where it's kind of remapping itself based on the zoom levels and all this madness. Yeah, it's getting kind of crazy. This is probably just going to be like mega pixelated on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, the other thing is there's like reasonable performance. Like this frame here is pretty much rendering with no culling In 4K at like 6 milliseconds, which is 160 frames on this computer. And it's a pretty big computer. It's got a 3090. So you could say that that's a okay baseline, but there's surely ways to optimize from here, you know? As you go, you tailor exactly what you need, and then you keep like pruning the little optimizations. Is there anything else worth looking at? Sakura. Oh, it looks so nice, actually. Something weird going on with the shadows. I don't know what I did. I did something. Is this the sun distance, perhaps? No. Ah, and as you increase the sun brightness, the shadows intensify. Well, they stay the same, but they look like they've intensified. Genie. Oh, genie. It's just like genie. You know, like the genie. It's just another way of spelling genie. This guy. It's just the genie. So the idea is it's magical entity, not so much that guy, but this guy. That you just ask it, it grants your wishes for you. Add some cars to this train. Yeah. Make it a nice, rich, warm color. Lovely. Put some ambient blues in there. Yeah, I'm getting some crazy shadowy stuff going on there, actually. What is causing it? What is causing it, precious? I think there's actually a line of code that I just took out, which was an important line of code. What's up, Beansy? You got a problem? Oh wait, did I turn off my camera? My bad. Yes. Arabian Nights. Why am I getting so much shadow problems? Was I always, and I just didn't. That was definitely based on the zoom. Max file clip. It's not that. Oh, it looks so nice, actually. And then we could get a nice little low light with very warm light and very sort of low purpley light for the shadows. And oh, buddy boy. As the sun goes down and the sun intensity goes down. Yeah, buddy. There's definitely some shadow issues going on, but we won't be too concerned about that. And then a little foggy boy. Oh, that's a little bit too much foggy boy. Oh, a little fog. Oh, I'm on some weird mode. What's up, Beansy? You mad? Chili's mad. Come here, bean sprouts. Look at this dog. She's so mad. Oh, she wants the light on the hand, but not on the keyboard. You're gonna write some messages, Beadsy. Ding, 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 ding. Oh yeah, I messed up something. Minimum file clip. That's got to go bigger. All this work for this silly game, eh? Far out, man. Dun, 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 dun. Hello, boat. Beep 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 beep. That's what I liked about Tiny Glade. I remember looking at Tiny Glade being like, Tiny Glade looks actually, something's going on Tiny Glade. And I watched the talk by the graphics engineer, or engineers, I don't know how many there were, but it was so hard out. It was like an hour of a person talking like, and they're talking like they were at double speed, so fast. Nothing they were talking about I understood at all. It was so high tech. Wow, that's cool, the containers with those shadows that come out. Ding, 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 ding. Go boat. They're gonna actually make some levels now. Actually, yeah, kind of what I'm doing is I was kind of thinking about making a Steam page, but there just was so much I wanted to get done before then. Tall multi-level bridges, that was one of them. Place trains on slopes, working on that. Switches, rocks in the water, some basic UI stuff, and then let's leave that out there because we can still see the trains going around, and then a whole bunch of graphical stuff. Bit of grass. Oh yeah, the grass is much improved. And there's daisies now. We haven't even, man, it's been so long since we've been here. We didn't even talk about the multicolored daisy planting algorithms. And there's even a daisy management control system, the daisy sampling scale. How many daisies do we need? Oh, it's replanting across everything. Oh yeah, we need more daisies. There we go. That looks a bit better. Oh, the trees don't have fog, and the AO, and you can see the hideous shadow acne and everything. Well, let's not look too closely at that, shall we? So this button here is replanting every grass instance. That's 40,000 instances every time I move the dial. That's pretty cool, man. Speaking of UI, any idea for UI? I didn't know whether to, like, I was kind of thinking about like a first look, like what would be the first, you know, actual game announcement. First time someone might stumble across this game. Let's reopen this level. Say someone opens this, the first time they see Daisy Trains, right? They're not following the development or whatever. I'm like, I really want it to, I don't want to come out with something that's very messy, or like, that's quite a big thing to do. So it needs to be like, look, at least compelling. So with the UI, I was like, well, do I make like a temp UI with IamGUI, or actually like UI might be quite a big deal. I don't exactly know how big a deal it's going to be. I think we kind of want to design how we think it might end up looking. Yeah, I tried Clay, but I couldn't. Last time I tried it, it didn't even compile in MSVC, and I went on the Discord and it's like no one uses MSVC, no one's checked MSVC, no one cares about MSVC. I'm like, well, this doesn't really help. But yeah, it could be good. I have kind of steered away from the C-centric programming, so it might be a bit annoying to use, but again, you know, it might be better to just write something basic for this, so I don't know. Terrain blocks, wind improvements. We need sort of all these stations and stacks and ports and stuff. It's all temporary. I need to fix the directional shadows can have an X. There are directional shadows. Technically not the greatest, but still there. Oh yeah, there's this other stuff where the rail builder, I didn't even show that really. Where's a piece of grass over here? So the rail builder now has like a do and undo kind of drag method, and it temporarily removes the grass and then puts it back. But you can kind of create these, you can create quite a lot in one go. And then when you undo it, the grass remains gone. This is the remove tool. You can draw it, it's like a snorkel. It'll build over the other one and it'll just reset the priorities. What's going on there? Well, what's up with my arrows, man? They've been eaten into. That's kind of cool. They must be like loading some alpha map. That's weird. Oh no, you're gonna go on forever around the wrong way, aren't you? The little circles? You mean the orbs? Right now they're just the debug sphere, that's why they look so budget. But I think they will be a tintable mesh or something, or maybe make a little, author a little object. Yeah, something nicer than a plain green sphere. I wonder what that's using for the, if I look at just albedo, roughness, metallic, normal map. Oh wow, look at all the normals, tangents, bitangents. Man, the world just sucks without the grass. The grass is worth the whatever it, the 1.4 milliseconds to render all the grass. There could be a way to do, there is like frustum culling, but it's really bad, and it's whatever it saves, you can see them disappearing, the blocks disappearing. Whatever it saves, it costs, so it doesn't really save anything. In fact, it makes no difference. But there might be bigger ways to like not render levels. Oh yeah, I did do a thing, I was messing around with this, making like a high camera like this. I was like, oh yeah, maybe there's like a very high vantage point. This one's getting kind of full. What time are we at? Oh, it's almost time. You render billboard quads with a fragment shader to make them circles. Alright. Alright, so they kind of stand up. Right now they're actually in the 3D space. Oi, 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 oi. Oi, oi. What other levels have we got going on we can look at? Tree stress test. Well, that looks like it's not happy, whatever I did. Don't know if that's a crash or this is the one with like 1,000 trees. Oh no, it's working. It's just, oh whoa, that took a moment to load. Wow. Wow, it's epic. Oh, there's a heart. That's right, I made a heart. Oh, did we run out of... We ran out of instances. We're at 200,000 instances. We ran out of instances. The grass started to get a bit patchy down here. Wow, that's kind of cool. This is probably just going to be like a blur on thing. We have the next big indie thing. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm going to take your word for it. Oh, the delta time makes a big difference. I'm going to take your word for it, sir. No SSAO combined. Well, something happened with this level. Oh, yeah, there is stations over here. Whoop, 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 whoop. Let's make this mega train. This is my like cargo sorter. Maybe we can make this light a little full daylight. Zing! Oh! Mega daisies. So OpenGL, easy to learn. I have that 3 AM motivation to make a game from scratch. Yeah, I love that motivation. It's fragile though. You're like, all right, I'm gonna do something, and you start to do something like, I don't know how to do anything. OpenGL is a real savage beast. I think. Did you do I was like, no, it's not particularly easy. But it's kind of weird. It's less than you think. I did all the Learn OpenGL exercises for the first like 10 of them or something. And that was like, oh yeah, true, okay. Just use Godot. Well, yeah. Yeah, it depends. I think if you want to make a game from scratch, you need to be insane, basically, because like even this, like I'm pretty stoked with how this is going. This is like nearly 6 months work, plus, you know, a bunch of prototyping and stuff. And this may like get to a point, and you know, it may never. You take 6 months or it ends up being a year or 2 years or however long. I don't know how long it takes. And then you make $2,000 of sales or something, and then you kind of go, okay, I was getting paid like 4 cents an hour or something. But like you say, we're insane. This is not why we do this. We do this because we're fascinated and it's interesting, and like creating things is really fulfilling. But it depends what your goals are. It depends what your goals are. Like, I don't know. I didn't know, like I wonder, like, what if I was like, go, you know what, I'm just going to use Unity for this, or Godot, is it possible? Like, yeah, you could do all of this stuff. But then I'm like, I don't think it'll be a unique end result. I don't think it'll look like this because you don't go through the same process. You know? You go through a weird process of making it and it comes out the other end like slightly different because it's like, because of all the weird decisions you made along the way and all the low level shit that you're messing with. You keep tweaking things. You keep changing things and you end up with this strange entity. Using an engine is too easy. Even that though, even that's not true. Like I think the great myth is that they try to convince you that making games can be easy with Unity. You know, you just do this, and with Unreal we've got this new system to do that. It's never easy, and that's a myth, and I think they should stop perpetrating this myth that anything should be easy or is easy. Because even with Unreal or anything helping you, it's still so hard. Like, most games won't get made, they'll never get finished, and if they do get finished, they'll come out and they won't be seen or played. And that's just the sad reality of it. I guess it's the same with everything though, like music or filmmaking or anything creative. But oh wait, there's one thing missing from the scene. We don't have any accurate foliage, shadow casting, bloom, blossom casting, ray casting, dynamic ray shadows. Oh yeah, go through the dappled light, Mr. Engine. Mr. Chain Engine, go through the light of the thing. Yeah, there they are. Oh, look at the high quality shads. High quality shads. Yeah, I don't know if that was supposed to be like, that was gonna destroy morale for someone wanting to make a game. You should definitely do stuff. You should definitely do stuff and make things and try and learn. I think that's more important than any kind of success. Is the, you know, we're just here. We got to do something. Oh, look at that big shadow it's casting across the thing. Physically accurate.
Recasting blossom blooms.
Yeah. And even if you just think about like the idea that the computer's doing what it's doing and the code you're writing is actually producing some reliable result. All of this is, you know, fundamentally unlikely and yet happening. So yeah, I don't quite know where I'm going with that, but we're not just doing this for money. We're doing it for a shitload of money. I need some new quotes. What was the quote? We keep hearing things on TV and being like, put that on the stream quotes. Making games is statistically impossible, so if we fail, that's normal. And do we fail? Or do we just learn things slowly and eventually give up? No, I was close to giving up on this, man. Getting rid of Raylib. Not getting rid of Raylib, but replacing Raylib with OpenGL. I was like, maybe programming's not for me. Maybe I'll do something else. It's much easier to do things like video editing. You get paid way more money in a way shorter amount of time for a much easier job. But if Daisy Train sells a gazillion copies, then what? Then what? Okay, well, I don't want to lie to my audience, to my friends on the stream, but programming is for me twice a day, and it's paying the bills. I love it, man. It's so cooked. Like, I love that I was like learning Blender texture. Are you doing it? Are you doing it? I'm so excited. I'm actually like a big, I used to, like when I was doing video work, I used to use Cinema 4D for all 3D stuff. And then Blender came out with that 2.8 thing. And I was like, man, Blender is so good. Because, I mean, for so many reasons, but also the whole open source thing, and I don't know, it's just a good thing, you know, and Adobe is not a good thing. Oh, Dragon Laser. Doing it for the ombres. Oh, what is that? That doesn't look right. Those shadows don't look right at all. Minimum orthographic scale. This thing. Oh, acne. Why is that looking so budget? Just don't look too closely. Add car. Let's get this guy touching his tail. Not actually though. Oh yo, he's a full track dude. Yeah, wait, don't ask. Yeah, I kind of forgot that, like, when we're doing all our passes, normals, raw, blur, don't click shadow map because it breaks the game. That looks kind of cool like that. Combined. I forgot to re-render the particles. I forgot to re-render the smoke particles. They never get rendered. So yeah, there's that. This is very new tech. Oh yeah, actually, the reason I'm stopping the stream is because of the NBA finals, and I'm gonna go watch them. I'm gonna go watch the Indiana Pacers either make or break the dream. I don't know if that's anyone's interested in that. Oh, so lovely. Ooh. Do the flowers ever get shadified? They do, don't they? Look at them go, they're little. Hey, where's my wind? Have we got no wind? Oh, something's up. Oh! I just realized something. Oh. That's gonna be a problem. I bet $11 on the Pacers 4 months ago. Paid out $1,100 if they win. Do you know you can use the normal maps on the smoke and it will act like it's 3D and cast accurate shadows? What? I just found a fatal flaw in my whole rendering system. The pipeline, the depth map being used. Actually, the shadows are moving, but not the. So the foliage vertex shader doesn't take into. We need this frag position equals displaced world position. The GL position is that. So why no moving? Oh, because we're using this instead of the frag position. This is what tripped us up last time. Because if I put this in, things are going to get hasty. Now the grass is moving again. Lovely. But I believe if I start dropping trees down, they're going to be mega glitchy and not moving. Right. So there needs to be a conditional there, although that's still not going to fix the fact that the trees... Oh, can we use the displaced world position? Dun, dun, dun. Is that going to work? Oh, dude. Yeah, I think we'll call that working. Look at this thing. Yeah, nice. Maybe not. Okay. Yeah, this needs to have different implementations for different things. So now we've lost our grass movement. Oh wait, something's moving. The shadows. What did I change? Indiana Pacers for the win, let's go. Were they always moving like that? The shadows are taking into account this stuff, but not the depth map. Interesting. Stuck the smoke normal demonstration in the game devons. Okay, sweet. Alright. I'm gonna bail out and watch this basketball. But thanks for joining me on this short stream discussing things like shadows and maps and the hectic state of the code that is kind of working but needs a lot of fixing. I think we're getting there. There's some issues. There always will be. Yo, I'll look out for it. I'll have to watch it on the stream. Maybe I'll just watch it personally. Chili, you got eye goobers. Chili, you got eye goobers. If I try to take the eye goobers, I get this. Can I take the eye goobers? Ha ha ha! Ouchies. If I take the eye goobers, I get attacked. What's this one? Can I take this one? Good girl. Sorry, Beansy. Yeah, you've got must respect the dog. Yeah, this dog is so... Goes up to people like, I want to kiss. And they're like, oh my god, that's the cutest dog I've ever seen. I'm like, yeah, look at her. Meanwhile, like if I try to... Should we take your jumper off, Beansy? Should we take your jumper off? Would you want to take the jumper off? Beansy, come on now. Good girl. As long as everyone's behaving, she'll be happy. Alright. Oh, well, yeah, sorry for the disappearing. I've been working and doing video editing. Oh, and it's Matariki, which is the New Year in New Zealand. The Māori New Year, so happy Matariki. We just did a music video about Matariki. Maybe I'll drop that in the Discord. And, yeah, we're just doing some work, pay the bills. We're actually moving back to New Zealand soon. Into the country, so hopefully we've got enough internet to keep streaming. But yeah, I'll drop that in the chat. And yeah, I'll be back. Hopefully, I think next week might be a little clearer. So next week, hopefully, we'll be back in some regular, real frowning, confused, head scratching. What is the direction? Up north, south? Now we're in Sydney. We've been in Sydney for a year and a half. We moved here, and it's pretty awesome. But we've got a opportunity to move to a nice place in New Zealand that has grass for the doggies. It's a very nice countryside place near the beach. Woohoo! So we're going to give that a go and make daisy trains in the woods. Yeah, Beansy, I know. We'll go for BB. You want to go with BB? Alrighty, anyway. Yeah, thanks very much. It's exciting times. We're going in August, so we're gonna carry on right up until we leave. Put the computers in the suitcases, take them directly there, set back up again, and carry on. And hopefully, we're going to be on Starlink, so hopefully it can handle streaming. We'll have to see. So yeah, but yeah. And if you are supporting OKC, that's okay too. You know, but come on, man. Let's go Pacers. Alrighty. Peace out, everybody. We'll see you soon. Catch you on the next one.